It's high noon, so welcome. My name is Steve Breen. I'm the owner and founder of Prosperion Financial Advisors. And I'd like to welcome you to this EDU event that we are doing. Many of you may recall we did EDU events in person prior to COVID and the like. And so this is our attempt to continue to provide great content to our clients and to do it in an effective, efficient manner. So I'd like to welcome you to this event. Backed by popular demand, we have Scott Henke with Onsite Consulting. They're a local computer consulting firm. Marie and I started using on-site consulting in the mid 80s, back when computers were the shape of a cinder block. Anyone recall what those look like? Those Macintosh computers. We took a class that Scott was conducting and just found it to be insightful and him to be very resourceful. From using him on the personal side, we use him in our business, and he has been a tremendous resource. He's got quite a nice little company located at Hampton and I-25.
I don't know who came on in the first 1 minute. Steve turned it on about 11:55. 3 people came in, and then my camera starts to make a hissing sound. It's funny, just because you own a computer company does not mean we are immune from basic computer problems. So my $100 awesome camera that I got from Amazon with a really cool light, which I've used for years, decided to stop working mid-sentence about 5 minutes ago. Luckily, I'm in a computer store, and I ran and found another one and took it out of the box and attached it and got it working in lightning speed. So we are not immune to computer problems. So I've been teaching classes for, I think, 35 years. And it was Steve and his wife Marie came to a class. We had 10 computers, 10 Macintosh computers hooked up to one dial-up modem. Okay, remember dial-up modems? And we would show them how to type in a word at the top. We push enter, and about 2 minutes later, the page would appear on everybody's screen. It really took an immense amount of time to get a web page up. So that's when we started, and I've been doing this for 43 years. Okay, around Denver, we help about 17,000 people with their computers, homes and businesses, being prepared. I like to do the customer interaction. I love teaching classes. I'm on a radio thing with 560 KLZ radio, and I'm a consumer advocate, and we talk about computer issues. And almost every other time I'm on, we talk about scams, because I think that is by far the most important thing you could be talking about. There's other things. We could talk about Google and AI, artificial intelligence. We could talk about viruses. But the biggest thing that I think is going to save a great percentage of you in this room money is talking about scams. Okay, one of the biggest things, because it is so prevalent. We unfortunately have 2 or 3 people per day come in who have fallen for a scam. It's a humongous number of people. Even though I've taught classes like this, they all know better. When they're on the phone with somebody, you know, when somebody calls your cell phone or your office phone, or you get an email and you keep clicking through, there's a psychological effect that makes you think this person cares for me and he wants to help me with my computer for free. And oh, there's a danger. I should be doing this, so I need to do this and this and this. You get down this weird path that you eventually will know is the wrong thing. Okay? But while you're on it, you just don't tend to know that you're on the wrong path. And we're going to go through a lot of different things. Originally, I checked in with Kyle yesterday. I said, okay, Kyle, just want to make sure. I've got 2 hours, right? And he goes, no, you have 1 hour. I said, 1 hour. Okay, I've done this before. I could do it in 1 hour. He goes, well, we have 15 minutes at the end for questions. Okay, that's 45 minutes. And then we've got 9 minutes we've already done for introductions. Okay, so we're down 35 minutes, right? But we are going to do this. And my goal is not for you to remember every single thing that I'm talking about. Okay, it's really just to know the concept of what I'm talking about. Nobody wants to help you for free. Nobody's going to give you a free anything for what you're going to do on the computer. I'll give you a lot of horror stories. One of them is a client of mine whose daughter called me first thing in the morning, like 7 o'clock in the morning the next day, and she goes, "Hey, my dad just fell for a scam, and these people said they were from Microsoft." Okay. First, Microsoft doesn't have your phone number. If you think about this, when you bought a computer, you never told Microsoft your telephone number. So they're not going to call you. The daughter said, yeah, they said Microsoft's going out of business. Microsoft is not going out of business. And they're going to give everybody a rebate who's ever bought a Microsoft product. Okay, if you're going out of business, you're not going to pay people that have already paid you. Okay, it just doesn't make any sense. So they told her father to, you have to apply for the rebate though online, and you have to send us some money first. And her dad fell for this, and I said, well, just don't worry about it. Just cancel the check, cancel the credit card, or whatever it is. She goes, no, he paid him in cash. And I said, how did he pay him with cash? So they told him to go to the bank, and he went to the bank and took out $10,000 in cash, wrapped it in plastic for some reason, put it in an envelope, and sent it to California. And I said, okay, that's bad. There's no way you're probably going to get this back unless, and I told, this is the only thing, I said, you should go stand outside the box, the mailbox where he put it into, because she said he went to a blue mailbox on the street corner. I said, you've got to go stand out there and beg the mailman to give it back to you. I think that's the only remote chance you're ever going to see the money again. Okay, you can't report it to Microsoft because it wasn't them in the first place. The money's going to go, so if you plead with them, maybe they'll take the money out of the little mail slot and give it back to you. So he was out of money. We had another client who did that. Okay, we had one client. You got to be really careful with all your passwords and make sure they're not out there. So he owns a company but used an AOL password to run the company. Somebody gets his AOL password. Before, the worst thing that they could do is to read through all, or is to send an email to all your contacts. Okay, so it says, let's name somebody here. Steve Breen says that you need to open this file. But the criminal is doing that with Steve's name on it, right? And it has Steve's AOL address on there. So people, for some reason, click on it, and then they get a virus, and the virus tells you to call somebody, and they'll fix your computer for $19. So you give them your credit card for $19, but really you're giving them your credit card number, and they can take out whatever they want out of your credit card. Okay, so kind of a snowball effect. The point is, that's what it used to be. Somebody breaks into Steve's email, sends an email from Steve saying click here for something, right? Another way is they read through all your emails. So for this particular client, they read through all of his emails and knew all about him. And he owned a company. So they found that he got an invoice for a company for some pipes in California. So the criminal calls my client and says, hey, this is XYZ Piping Company. Just want to let you know that we've had some fraud over here at our company. Nothing to do with you, but the check that you sent, we're going to stop. You need to stop payment on that check, and we're filing this with the FBI. They make it a really complicated story, and they do this purposefully to confuse you. Okay, so I just want to say, don't worry about the check, but if you could just wire transfer the money, we'll still get those pipes to you. The one for invoice number 4732 for the pipes in California, and he wire transferred $140,000 to a complete stranger. Okay, because they knew all about him. They had the invoice from the pipe company. So they said they were XYZ Pipe Company for $140,000. Pipes are going to this location. And he sent him $140,000, and he can't do anything about it. He didn't even know that he had done anything wrong until down the road, right? It's like, wait a minute, how come they cashed both checks? I sent him the wire transfer, and they cashed my check. It takes a long time to get out of this. And we had a client who had a stockbroker, and this was about 15 years ago, before this got to be a big scam. Same thing. They found the emails. They read through and found the stockbroker. I'll tell you this, it was not LPL Financial, okay? Just be very clear about that. They called and said, they called the stockbroker and said, hey, this is Larry Johnson, and we're in California right now, and I just wanted to know, can you forward some money to me in California? I'm not in Denver, but if you could forward it, we've got a friend and she's got leukemia, and we really want to help her out, so we want to pay for her some stuff for our friend. Can you send us $2,000? And the stockbroker said, oh, Larry, just want to make sure. What's your wife's name? Oh, my wife's name is Mary. Because they knew, because they were reading his emails. Okay, what's your account number? And this is from a long time ago when they used to email you the statements. So the criminal had a copy of the stockbroker statement. And they send the criminal $2,000 in California by check. A couple days later, it worked. So therefore, the criminal called back again. See, the client doesn't know these things are happening for a couple days. So then they called back and said, oh, our friend with leukemia, we're really feeling bad for her. We want to go ahead and pay off her home loan. So could you forward us $43,000? Oh, Jim, I have to verify. What's your wife's name? It's still Mary. And where do you want to send it to? Well, send it to this P.O. box in California. And the stockbroker sent the money to California. Okay? And this is one of those things that this time the consumer wasn't at fault. It was the stockbroker. And same thing, when I work with the LPL, I trust them with all my money. And I'll call my representative at LPL and I'll say, hey, can you trade 10 shares of Microsoft? He goes, okay, but you called me. We have to hang up and I'm going to call you on your phone. And you think you should argue, like, this is silly. I'm me. I'm on my phone. You don't have to call me. I'm calling you. But that's their rules. That's the best thing in the world, is to make sure they're calling the right number. Because there are some things now where people can fool your voice. And so they may put on a handsome, charming voice like mine, and it'll sound like me calling the stockbroker. So if your stockbroker does that annoying thing where they have to call you back, that is perfect. That is the way it should be done. Okay, so don't get annoyed when those things happen. You know, we should have mentioned this at the beginning, but we did email you this. Wait, there, can you see it? I have a flyer called Detecting and Avoiding Scams, and this was at the bottom of the handout at the beginning. You know I talk quickly. We're going to be going through 2 hours worth of stuff in a short period of time. So we could see Steve's screen right now, I think, or somebody's screen. Anyway, I just want to make sure you have this. It should have been at the bottom of your initial invitation. If you can click on it, you can follow along. If not, the key is to get it in your brain. Okay, not necessarily on the paper. I just did this so you could write in the margins and stuff. Okay, I'm going to go through kind of quickly. And I think the important thing is to share this with each other. I saw a few minutes ago, you got a lot of couples in here, husband and wife. You need to lean on each other. Okay, and just say, honey, do you think Microsoft's calling me? We had a husband and wife. Wife comes home. Husband is on the phone. Okay? She goes, honey, who are you talking to? Oh, I'm talking to Apple. She goes, we don't own an Apple. She goes, yeah, I know, but they said there's something wrong with my Apple phone. And to get this thing fixed, I have to send them this information, my driver's license and my passport. She goes, that doesn't make any sense. Why are you giving Apple your information? He had been on there for an hour with Apple. It turns out they had been remoting in his computer. They opened a Coinbase account. Coinbase 10 years ago they're still around, but you could buy cryptocurrency, crypto and stuff like that. You could go there, you put your bank account information, you transfer the money to the account, and then you buy crypto through this company. It's a legitimate company. The criminals opened the account for the client using his computer. Okay? They had already set it up to his bank account, and we're going to do a transaction. Luckily, the wife goes, put down that phone. We're calling Scott Henke. They bring in the computer. Sure enough, the people were in there. Luckily, they saved the password. You know, if you're on a computer, sometimes you could put save password. I found their password that the criminal used for the Coinbase account. I got into the Coinbase account, took out their bank account, reversed the charges, and got them their money back. But if the husband and wife work together, honey, do you think this is really Apple on the phone? Why are they having me open a crypto account? See, none of this makes any sense in hindsight. But when it's happening to you, sometimes it just makes sense. Okay? So lean on each other. We're going to go through some of the things on this list. Okay, I'm going to go through kind of quickly, but it's a good thing. These people don't call you. The IRS, I don't think ever calls people ever. UPS is not going to call you about your missing package. Okay, most of the time they don't have your phone number anyway. Your bank doesn't usually call you to get your login information for their bank, right? Doesn't make any sense. Why would the bank call you for the bank password? Why would the bank call you for your bank account number? None of this makes any sense, or your routing number, okay? Apple doesn't call you, and Microsoft doesn't know your phone number. So they're not going to call you. So when you hear that, you should know that. Another thing, and I'm not trying to make fun of any category of people, but if you get a call like this, hello, we are from Microsoft and we need to help you with all your computer needs. We notice a very bad thing happening to your computer, very, very bad, but we'll fix it for free. Okay? These are call centers in other countries. That's why they have an accent. Nothing against those countries. I've been to those countries. They're lovely countries. But they have call centers set up to scam you. The same way here in the United States, you've got people who sell Windows and people who sell fiber optic stuff for your computer speed. They are all trained people. These people are trained on how to scam you. That's their entire job. They are not legitimate anything. And when they do this, they're going to make more money in one phone call than they normally will in a year. So they are going to try really hard, and they're not going to give up. So when you hear a voice like this on the phone, the first thing you should do is say, oh my gosh, this may not be a real person. Perhaps these people are trying to take my money. That should be the first thing. Nothing against those people or those countries. But when you hear that, your ears should perk up. Okay? You haven't won a prize or anything like that. A couple things you could do. I put this on the list. There's 2 websites. Let me share my screen real quick. This will give us some variety. I think this is my screen. Yeah. Hold on. Can you see my Google screen? I hope so. There's 2 sites you could go to stop getting as many calls. One of them is called donotcall.gov. This is the national website that gets you off of the mailing list for scam calls made from the United States. Or not scam calls, any kind of solicitation from the United States. It's free. All you got to do is register your phone. Okay, you click there. You could put in your number. You could put in your kids' numbers, your cell phones, things like that. And if you get a call from them and you're on this list, they could be fined something like $5,000. I've known people who try to do this and make a living out of it. You put on your call. You have to document that they called you, what time they called you. Did they say they were a nonprofit? Nonprofits are allowed to bypass this. And political, vote for me things at voting time, they're allowed to bypass the do not call registry. So, but if it's a place trying to get your money and you're on the list, they get fined $2,000 and you can get paid $2,000. It's really a cool thing. You know how much effort it's going to be to do that? But I would just put your names on there, the do not call registry. Okay? But there's another one, coloradonocall.com. Okay? 2 different things. They don't talk to each other. So you have to put your name on the Colorado do not call list and the national do not call list. So same thing right here. You're going to put in your phone number and add it, or you could verify whether it's already on there. And then it's down here. I want to file a complaint that somebody called me. You could do some stuff here. I tried it once. I didn't get any money. It's a big waste of time. But if you have the time, you could do it. And maybe you'll get $2,000. Okay? So I've got that on the... hold on. Put my face back up. I've got that on this piece of paper. If you missed the address, it's right about there. Do not call and Colorado no call. Okay?
Windows computer. You take your mouse all the way to the bottom left and go up to the gear.
Sorry, hold on. My computer's talking to me. Here we go. The next thing is really important, and I did a lot of things about this on the radio, and I've got some videos about it. You'll be getting some text messages. This is a really prevalent thing, and it's working. That's why it's going to keep going. You're going to get text messages that say that you passed through a toll booth and you forgot to pay. Okay, let me read you this one. So I know you can't see it on my phone, but it says it's from a foreign phone number. It's not from the United States. So if you look at the top on my phone, where it says where it came from, it doesn't start with a 1, which is the United States. It starts with a 63, which is some other country. 63 dash, and then it's got another digit number right there. Okay. Yet it's from the Colorado Motor Vehicle Administration. So why would Colorado be sending me a text message from another country? Okay. In hindsight, that doesn't make any sense. If you read through it, I'll read through it. You failed to pay for this thing and the deadline was June 20th. And on the day I got this, that was today. So scammers have this sense of urgency. You have to do it today. If you don't do it today, you're going to have all these horrible things. It says you'll be put in the illegal database. Your driver's license will be suspended. You're going to be charged 35% service fee, and your credit score may be affected. Go here to get out of this. Okay, and when you click it, you are going to go to a fraudulent site that looks like a real site. And you're going to tell it that, give it your credit card, and you've given us somebody in another country your credit card. So prevalent. That's what's happening with cell phone text messages. Okay, super important. You're not going to get a text message saying you owe any money for a toll booth. Very, very prevalent. That's happening right now. Okay, let's go down the list. You're going to get a lot of emails. Let me pull up a couple scam emails real quick. Let me share my screen. Super important that you know how to detect this stuff. So we're going to close the no call. We're going to pull up my Outlook. I keep a whole bunch of scam emails just for this. And I could spend 45 minutes just on these emails, but I will not do that. So right here, I've got a folder called Workshops, Spyware Emails. I have 100 here, but I'm just going to go through them kind of quickly. You can see my screen, right? Yeah. What you need to do is hover over words. Okay? Well, look at this one first. It comes from Steve Angus, who's at Takaguchi Canteen in Japan. Do you see that at the top? Steve Angus, Cantilena, whatever. It says his name is Bob Nichols, coming from a hospital in Connecticut. So right there, that doesn't make any sense. Here, would you like to take a survey from State Farm? Your opinion matters. Now watch what happens when I put my mouse over something, a little pop-up will appear. You see this right here? So it says, if I clicked on complete the State Farm survey, it's going to go to shortcuturl.at. AT is a different country. Don't know where that is. And if I click on it, I'm going to another country. And I don't know what they're going to do there. They're probably going to have a pretend survey. And a lot of times at the end, they say, okay, congratulations, you got $10. We just have to put it in your bank account. Please tell us your bank account number and routing number. And we'll put $10 in there. It's going to be the opposite. You could be wiped out if you follow through this thing. But it's predicated by a survey. Okay? Here's one that looks like a PDF. PDF is a portable document. So that means it's a thing that you sign, like with all your stocks and stuff. That's not it. That's a virus right there. Okay? It may look like a red thing, but I don't know who Laura's house is. I don't know Navy, whatever electronic document. Okay? You'll get these a lot. Microsoft 365. We're going to deactivate you. But click, look, farmer, confirm now, farmer. The programmers, remember, don't speak English, and I don't know what happened here, but they're calling me a farmer. And if I click on that, look, it's going to go to this strange thing, google.co.nz, which is New Zealand, and then a weird bunch of garbage. Okay, that's where it's going. It's not going to Microsoft. You should play this audio file right now to find out about your caller who left a voicemail message. I don't have this. Don't click there. Okay. It's really interesting, but they did take this off of my website. This is my logo. And it says they're from my payroll company, and this is not. There's a lot of little things, but the biggest thing I want you to take away, if you remember one thing, oh, look, my antivirus program actually stopped a virus from one of those as I clicked on it. You see how I'm clicking really fast? One of those had a virus on it, and it took it out while we were talking. But this will happen quite often. Lori and her Gmail is sending me a Geek Squad invoice to pay. Logically, it would say Geek Squad or Best Buy, right? Yet it's saying do this. But you already paid us $249, but if you'd like a refund, call our phone number. You also see how, being in another country, they don't have the right parentheses in the right place because they're just not used to it. So they put the parentheses around this number instead of that number. And so you're going to, oh my gosh, Mary, call the Geek Squad, and you're going to call this number. That's not the number for the Geek Squad. Who knows who these people are. But they're going to get your credit card so they could refund you the $249, but it's actually the other way around. Okay? Cash App. Cash App is a legitimate program, but when you put your mouse over it, you see what popped up? Cashstaging.app. That's not Cash App. This is a different company. But you got to learn how to hover over things. I had a client once who said, hey, Capital One is asking me to do this and this, so I keep clicking on it and logging in, but I don't have a Capital One. I said, well, what did you do that for then? He goes, well, but I have a Wells Fargo, so I typed in my Wells Fargo account and password, and then it took it. I said, awesome. You have to close your Wells Fargo account. This is, when things like this happen, this isn't something you should just brush off like getting a dent in your car in a parking lot or something. Okay, oh, it's not that big of a deal. These people can take all of your money. If you gave in and you gave somebody your account number, you need to change it instantaneously. Okay? So here's another thing. Bitcoin. They said I bought a Bitcoin for $375. I did not, but it wants me to dispute it by calling this number. Okay. Home Depot gift card. Look, I got a Home Depot gift card. I'll tell you this, Home Depot does not give out free gift cards for just somebody taking a survey. And if you click over it, you see that link, www.us-state12.cloud. I've actually called these people before. The company that it's being run off of somebody's computer. The computer's name is US-State12. Okay, this could be a government computer, I don't know. But I've called them before. I've looked it up and called these people and told them, you have somebody running a scam off of your computer. I know you don't know me. I'm a computer guy. Go call your computer guy and tell them another computer guy called and said that you got a scam going on. Okay, I don't want to go through all these, but they all look really interesting. If you look at this one, the word Norton is being screened out of emails because they use that name so often. So that's not Norton. That's N0RT0N. They did that purposely so it would get through the spam filters. And the owner of Norton is not Bobby Gonzalez. Okay? So, hover over the links. I'm going to stop this for a second. I know we got limited time. I'm going to go through a couple things. Let me share this screen. This is a Craigslist scam. I know we're going quickly. If you've ever been to Craigslist, it started in California where some guy just wanted to tell people about things going on in California. Okay, but if you go to Craigslist.com, watch the thing. It redirects to Denver because I told it can know what city, and I go to Denver. Let's say I want to buy an RV. Okay, I'm not an RV person, but I want to go buy an RV. Okay, I don't want all that. I want a whole RV vehicle. And all these people are selling these RVs. Okay, so let's pick one that doesn't look too great, like this one over here. $23,000. Now pretend this says $2,000. Just pretend. People will put up ads that say, hey, you could buy our Keystone RV Passport for $2,000. And if you've done your research, you cannot buy an RV for $2,000. Look, they're all $50,000, but look, Mary, this one's $2,000. Okay, they don't tell you exactly who it is. and you could talk to them right here. You could reply and say, hey, I'd be interested in seeing that RV. Yeah, I went through a divorce and I'm really trying to get some money. So all I need is $2,000. It's way underpriced, but I'll sell this to you for $2,000. Oh, that's great. Where can I come look at it? Well, just to let you know too, I'm afraid of scams, so you got to bring cash so I don't get scammed. Okay, the only thing I'm gonna do is take cash, and I got to have it this weekend. I just really need it this weekend. Okay, and we're out here. We're near Bennett. I don't know. Let's pick a city. We're out near Boulder, and you got to go to the east a little bit, and it's near my brother's farm. We're around the back of the barn. So come out on Route 32, and then you go around the barn, and I'll show you the trailer because it's got a flat tire. So if you could buy it, and you'd worry about, you know what? I'll do it for $1,500. Just bring $1,500, and you got to deal with like getting a flat tire change. You okay with that? Do you understand what's going on? There's no trailer. There is a barn. And there's people behind the barn waiting for you because they know you're going to show up with $2,000 in cash. Okay? And this is what happens. You make that person fix their own tire and you bring the trailer to a Walmart or a police station. A lot of transactions go in public places. Police stations, parking lots. We are at a King Soopers right over here at Hampton and I-25. And people buy and sell stuff in our parking lot from Craigslist and Facebook. But don't go behind the barn with $2,000 in cash. Okay? There's nothing back there except for guys that are going to steal your money. Okay? So be extra careful when you're on Craigslist. Okay, back to my lovely face. Some websites actually have scams on them, or advertisements, or they're complete scams. We had a client once who looked up hotels in Heathrow Airport. Okay, I've never been there, but they said Heathrow Airport, and it was a website full of hotel rooms, and they were really cheap. So she bought the tickets for it, reservation, and when she gets there, there's no hotel. There's not a hotel called Heathrow Airport Hotel, and so she just paid a scammer some money, but she didn't find out until way down the road, right? She just thought she had tickets. They sent her a confirmation. She went up to a website that had all the pictures of the hotel and waterfalls and things like that. So be very careful for things like that. Let me show you this other thing. Speedtest.com is a thing that you can go to, but somebody actually bought that site. Sometimes it'll pop up and say this is a scam. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, this website that said, speed test, is actually redirected to another place that wants to download a file. See, download right here? You don't want to do that. That's a virus. You could buy websites called dellcomputers.com. If it's not taken, I can buy a website called that. So somebody bought this one. There's a real website called speedtest.net. Okay, this is a legitimate one, probably one of the most well-known ones. And this tests your speed on your computer. Okay, so if I push this button, a client actually discovered this for me. If you push this button, it'll tell you how fast your computer speed is, okay? And from my Comcast account. But these are advertisements around the side. See this? Fishing, fish, click download. So my client saw this thing at the top. She goes, I don't understand what you're talking about. It had me click download, and then I went here, and then it's wanting me to pay $19. I says, I don't know what you're talking about. It's the giant blue button. She says, yeah, I'm clicking the giant blue button that says download. I said, it doesn't say download. It says go, I think. No, hold on. So she was clicking up here. This is a paid advertisement. That is really not a great thing because you think that's what button you're supposed to push, right? The way you know that is this little triangle right there. See that triangle? That's from a company called Ad Choices. I have no idea how you would ever know that. Okay, unless somebody taught you in a class. So if you click it, these are ads brought to you through Google, and it tells you that it's an ad, and it puts that little triangle there. But it doesn't, you never knew that. Look over here on Pulte Homes, it's got a triangle. Okay, you could close that one ad, but the next time you go to this website, another ad's going to pop up. So I'm going back to the website, and another one's going to pop up. See? Oh, you need to add this extension? I don't even know what that means. Let me hit download. Nope, it's this giant button in the middle. But you got to be careful what you click on. A lot of us computer guys just ignore all the stuff on the edges. Because, you know, this is not what you want. It's somewhere else. But that one that you saw a minute ago was tricky because it said, click here. Okay? You got to be really careful with that. Okay, watch. Let's go back to Google. Another thing, I'm going down the list, is a fraudulent website. So let's just say I got a computer. It's a Dell computer. Is really slow. Fix it. Okay? When you scroll down, you assume that these are legitimate. These are called sponsored sites. These people pay to be at the top of the list when somebody says something about slow fix it and computer. Okay? This is actually a legitimate company. Webroot is an antivirus company. These people, asktech.support. No idea who these are. Geek Support. Well, isn't that thing at Best Buy Geek Support? No, no, no. That's Geek Squad. This is Geek Support, and I'll go ahead and click it, and it's going to take you to their website. Oh, you can get unlimited tech support at $75 a month. It's got a picture of a guy, back of a head of a guy. Wow, look at all this stuff I can get. I don't know who these people are. You can actually pay. All these people have paid to be at the top of the list that say sponsored. Okay? If you keep going down, this is the one that didn't pay. Dell. Dell. These people didn't pay to be at the top of the list. They're there because they're the most popular site when people say Dell computer is really slow. These people here all get charged $3 every time you click on it. So watch, these people, My Clean PC, when I clicked on it, Google just charged them $3. And that's why Google makes $1 billion a day. Because somebody just clicked on the thing at the top. By the way, this is a spyware program. Don't click there. This one messes up your computer more than it fixes it. So I'm just saying, see when it says sponsored? On my sheet I gave you, it's on the back of the sheet, or the second page. They used to put the word ad. Now they changed it to the word sponsored. So just be careful, but these top ones are not it. If I got a HP computer virus, okay, oh, support.com, this is not HP. McAfee, that's not HP. Safety Detective, that is really sketchy. What? Well, let's just click it. Let's charge them $3. And if you are bored, you could spend all day doing this. Find the lady you don't like who has an ad for her company and just click on her ad all day long. Charge her $3. And there's a limit. You could say to Google, only spend $100 a day on advertising. Okay, same thing over here. These people are advertisers. So, but you got to be careful. I have no idea who Safety Detective is. Oh, look. As you leave, it wants you to buy Norton. Okay. So be careful with those little things on there. Oh, a couple really, really important things. Let me go back to my face. I just sent out an email. We have a newsletter in case you want to be a part of it. I think my email's, oh, it's definitely on the flyers. Okay, if you want to be a part of that, just send me an email and I'll send you some stuff. There was a major hack last week. I was actually approached by somebody. They were going to get me on the national news, do like a 15-minute spot on it, but I didn't get on there. I've been on the national news before for other scams, but this one, 16 billion passwords have been stolen, not million. In the past, they've only said 163 million passwords. That was the biggest in the history of computers, 163 million. This is 16 billion with a B passwords. They were from all the big companies that you swear would never be broken into. Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and Microsoft is all your Office passwords. So if you have Microsoft Office, which most everybody has, or if you use Microsoft Exchange, like if you have a company, you pay this money and Microsoft handles your email. Okay? All those were stolen. You need to change your password. And this isn't one of those things like you got a dent on your car and you're going to live with it. You should go do this today. And after this class, if you don't remember anything, please go change your passwords. The biggest ones that people forget are the ones that control your smartphones. So I have an iPhone, okay? And on the iPhone is really the simplest one. It's 3 steps to change your password. Not the password at the beginning. You know when you click on it and it has some buttons? I can't do this backwards. You click on it backwards and you got some buttons to unlock your phone? That's not the password. Your Apple ID has all of your photos. and all your credit cards and all your passwords and your email. And that's all saved in iCloud. And it's the same with Google if you have an Android phone. You need to change those passwords. That's going to cover a lot of stuff, and it's only a few steps. So like on an iPhone, you go to Settings, Sign In, Change Password. Boom. You're done with your phone, and it changes it everywhere. Google is pretty similar as well. You can do it on your phone or computer, but those are the major ones. And then you should change your email password. I wrote an email this weekend to all my clients, and it said, this is what you're going to be doing all weekend, changing your passwords. Please, please do it. So even LPL, we don't know if they're, chances are they have such high security. I know this because I have to jump through a lot of hoops for LPL. But you're changing all your passwords anyway. Go ahead and change the one for LPL, your credit cards, your bank, your email, Google, iPhone. I have a list of these. I'll send you the newsletter if you ask it, and I'll send it to you, okay? It's got a list of things to do there. Super, super important to do that because your password is probably out there. This 16 billion didn't all happen at once. This is the cumulative of a lot of different hacks that they've added all together, and they totaled it up. 16 billion. 16 billion passwords. There's only 8 billion people on Earth. Okay? So chances are one of your passwords is hacked. It could be your Chick-fil-A password. Okay? And it's not that important. But if it's your Facebook password, which is what you should change, it's really hard to get back into Facebook. You're going to say, but that's where all my friends are. I don't know where they are in the United States. I don't know their emails. We just communicate through Facebook. Yes, you may have lost all of it. And that is a super sad thing. And we have about one person a month that has come in, and that happens to them because they lost their password. Some other hacker got it. They changed the password. They changed the phone number. And these people are out of luck. So please change those things. Send me, I'll give you a list of the important ones to change. But changing your passwords is one of the most important things that you need to do. Okay, so to summarize, because I know we're going to go to some questions here. To summarize, like I put it on the list, right? If somebody calls you and they have a very strong accent, their name is Charlie Anderson, and I live in Arkansas, United States. And I'm going to help you with everything with your computer for free, sir. Everything is for free. Please, your radar just needs to go off like this in your head, like maybe this person isn't from Arkansas, right? So don't fall for scams. Don't believe on stuff. I've been hung up on the phone. Hi, this is Scott from Onsite Consulting. People hang up the phone on me because they think I'm a scammer. And I'm okay with that because I know they're doing what they should be. They're being extra vigilant. I have to call them back. I have to talk really fast, prove that I know who they are, then they'll take my call. So be careful with that. Change your passwords. Don't click on weird stuff. And hover over it. Remember when I showed you the emails and you hover over the link? That tells you where it's really going to go. It may say Home Depot gift card, www.homedepot.com. When you hover, it may say something else. Don't click on it, just put your mouse over it. Okay, that was a 2-hour class in 40 minutes. Steve, you got some questions?
So Scott, one of the questions that inevitably comes up, and you've mentioned it, and that relates to passwords. And there are password tools. If someone doesn't want to use a tool, what recommendations do you have? Do you suggest pattern passwords? What do you advise? What's the best way for people in terms of managing their passwords, in your opinion?
Okay. Please write down your passwords or use a tool. I use a tool called LastPass. There's another one called 1Password that one of my technicians swears by. It doesn't matter. And LastPass has gotten broken into. Second I heard that, I changed my 30-digit password for LastPass, and I changed all my other passwords. Yes, it took me a long time. You should write it down, okay? Don't put it in a book called Passwords. And don't put it on your desk next to your phone, okay? You should call it Recipes, okay? Chicken soup recipes or medical problems. No thief is going to break in your house and steal your book of medical problems, right? Call it medical problems. And you put it in there, and I like a pattern. So take your favorite word. So let's say it's Prosperion. Okay, it's my favorite word in the world. No, that's not the best word. Because the good thing about that is that it's not a word in the dictionary. I don't think it's a word in the dictionary, right? So let's take the word advisors. That word advisors is my favorite word. Make the A an @ sign, so you stick some symbols in there. You make the O a 0, because then it's not in a dictionary, okay? And I like to add a letter at the end. So let's say it's advisors E for eBay, advisors C for Comcast, advisors B for Bank of the West. So then I've got 26 different passwords. And I usually put a year in there, 25 for 2025, 26 for 2026, because that way if I didn't change one for Chick-fil-A, okay, it's probably last year's password. That was 24, what was it? Oh yeah, 24. And you can go back. You got to communicate with your spouse and your children.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you this. If you have a book, tell your wife and your kids where the book is. If you do get a password sharing program, like I told you, I have LastPass. You don't have to buy one for everybody. You buy one copy for husband and wife. Make sure everybody knows the password. I have the password in my safe, my 30-digit password in my safe, so anybody can find it if I pass away. We've had to break into people's, about once a year, we have to try to get into somebody's computer who's passed away. It's sad. If they had just written down this one thing, we could have got past this thing. Usually we could break in somehow. It's on one of their computers. They've got a password. But please write it down and let your loved ones know.
Yeah, yeah. One of the concepts that my brother-in-law brought to our attention, who was in technology, and that is to think about patterning. So in the old days, you'd have one password, and if someone got your password, they had all your password. They had your password for every website, and rather simple. He suggested take the first two letters of whatever website you're going to assign this to. So the first two letters, let's just say Amazon, and then we would use a pattern. So I might use our dog's name, and then a number. And so Amazon, the password for Amazon would be AM Frida 13. So now Amazon's login for the site for us would be AM Frida 13. Now if I want the Home Depot, it would be HO Frida 13. So you use the same pattern, but you change the first two digits to whatever website you're going to go to.
Right. And I know that everybody in this room has written that password down, is going to test it to see if they just got your Amazon password.
Uh-oh.
Quick, change your passwords. Let me show you this website. It's on the handout, but you guys should know this site, and it's on the handout. Yeah. Have I been pwned? Pwned's a made up word. I don't know what it means. Type in your email address there. Okay, this is not extensive. Everybody thinks this is perfect. It's not. You check your email and look, 15 places my password has been stolen. Me, who's ultra conservative. Advanced Auto Parts had my email address stolen. Okay, not a big deal. It's just my email. Post Millennial, I don't even never been to that site, had my email and my password. Okay, so let's say, let me go to one, LinkedIn. Let's say my LinkedIn password was password123. That was stolen in 2021. Okay, and if that's my password for my bank, that's a bad thing. My LinkedIn password was the same password as my bank password. So I think everybody here should go here. You don't have to worry about some of these. This just means your email was stolen, is out there. This is Words with Friends. You know the little games you play on your phone? All their emails and passwords were stolen. So if your password for the little Words with Friends game is the same as your bank word password has been stolen. Okay? So that's how important it is to change your passwords, write it down. Steve, you got any more questions?
No, that one came up the most. What do I do about my passwords?
Yeah. If we have a second, let me show you what I do. I have a screen.
Oh, one question about two-factor authentication. Thoughts about that?
So two-factor authentication is also called 2FA. Okay, see this right here, 2FA.
Mhm.
It's you have to jump through a hoop when you do something. Like if I was to go to my LPL site, I don't know, LPL, let me go to a different one. Well, I don't know what site I can go to. We have a Hilton thing. Well, I wonder if I can go to LPL. I wonder if it's legal to go to LPL during an LPL thing. Anyway, when I go there, it texts me.
Mhm.
I'm sure all you guys know that. If you go to the LPL site, it asks you, hey, are you sure you want to go to this site? It texts you a 4-digit number. You got to go back and type it in. What a pain in the butt to have to do that, right?
Mhm.
That is not a pain in the butt. These people are protecting you. They are protecting your money by making you jump through one more 10-second hoop. Please don't argue about that. Whenever that's what they've said is you have to be doing that. And that's the solution to a lot of these password problems is everybody should do two-factor.
Yeah.
No one's going to steal your password and your cell phone on the same day.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. As a policy, if someone emails us, we don't accept instruction by email. We want to hear your voice.
Yes, that's
And
exactly the right way to do it.
it's it's people sometimes get frustrated, but basically it's to protect them. That's we use that as our protection device.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Hey, if anybody has any, I know we're running out of time, but
Yeah.
I could stay on the Zoom if you guys want me to. I'll stay on for another hour if you want me
Right.
to. But or you can send me an email, and my email should be on the list somewhere.
Yep.
I don't suggest calling the office. Like I mentioned, we have 17,000 customers. Everybody wants to talk to Scott Henke. I can't talk to everybody. I'm not the best. I'm not the best. We have 13 technicians. Everybody's smart. Everybody knows stuff. We have one person who deals with people getting scammed 50% of his day. He sits down with you. He'll help you change passwords. He'll explain what two-factor authentication is and all this stuff. And we help people through this. But if you're at all concerned about something, you've got two friends here. You've got me, computer minded, and Steve, who's great financially minded, right? If you get hacked into for your bank, you can call Steve maybe. He's not going to put you on hold or whatever. He'd say, you know what you need to do? Change your passwords. And then call Scott Henke, check your computer out. Again, don't let anybody remote into your computer. I don't know if I even said that in here.
Yeah.
Amazon's going to say, we need to remote into your computer to take care of this. And when you let them in your computer and then you get spooked and you say, I don't feel comfortable, I'm going to hang up, and you hang up the phone, they're still in the computer. You know that? So if you got somebody remoted into your computer 6 months ago, chances are they're still in your computer, by the way.
Yeah.
There's a little icon at the bottom corner. It'll say Team Viewer or some other stuff, and they could be in there right now still stealing information. We can help you out with that.
So Scott, one other question. If I turn my computer off, will that disconnect someone from being in my computer? And then what advice do you have about keeping your computer on, restarting it every week? What's your best practice there?
So if you turn off your computer, down here, you go to turn off. Right. Yes, they're going to be disconnected. The second you turn it back on, they're going to be back on again. Okay? Because down here in the corner, this is a Windows computer, and in the bottom, these say what kind of things are running right now. I've got a backup, I've got an antivirus program, and some stuff up here. If you have something that's suspicious, you can Google it. Like if you don't know what Dropbox is, just Google Dropbox. But there are ones, I turned mine off. There's one called Splashtop, TeamViewer, Log Me In, Remote PC, and a couple others. Okay, that's what I'm here for. Send me a thing. I got this thing that says Remote PC. What's that? Bring it in, and we'll help you take it off. If it's a 5-minute thing, we're going to do this for free, by the way. You just bring your laptop in. We'll do this at the front counter, take it off of there like that. But we're here to help you out. But this is where it would show up. Turning it off doesn't make a big difference. But about restarting your computer,
right?
All of our clients, everybody on the planet needs to go to the shutdown thing, the power button, and either go to shut down. I do this like if it's a business like yours, Steve, and the markets are closed, so you're not going to use your computers over the weekend anyway. I would turn them off, save 5 cents on electricity. If you're not doing that, just go to restart, and that will refresh it. Okay, that puts all the security updates in. Windows does security updates once a week, and they have to be restarted every week. So if you don't restart it, it's not going to get them all done. See, so if you go into Windows Update and check it, I guarantee you're going to have something there,
Yep.
and you got to restart it.
Yep.
Okay.
Scott, I really appreciate your help and appreciate your desire to help people. You love helping people. You love solving problems. You're incredibly curious, and that's just one of the attributes about you that I appreciate. So, folks, if you have questions, a great resource for you, Onsite Consulting. You can also reach Scott at onsiteconsulting.net, net. So,
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Again, really appreciate your input to our clients and how you serve people.
And if I wasn't clear on anything I said today, just the clients should just email me.
Yep, reach out.
God, you talk too fast. What'd you say? I will be happy to just send you back what I just said. Okay?
All right. Thank you very much, Scott. Really appreciate your time today.
Thanks. I'll take off.
Thank you, clients. Take care. Bye-bye.